Hello, I'm Ahto Buldas. I'm teaching cryptography in Tallinn University of Technology, and my today's topic is security proofs of the Unicity system. So let's first go through the main idea of the system. We have users, some parties, and the parties exchange tokens. They have tokens which are digital, and they transfer tokens through any channel they want. It happens completely, might happen offline, completely off-chain. And say tokens are represented as sequences of transactions. So say this party has a token represented by a sequence of transactions, and to send the token to party B, A signs digitally a new transaction and sends the new sequence to party B. Okay, what we don't want to happen in the system is that A is able to send the same token to two different parties. So say there is another party, P prime, which somehow will also receive the token. So A signs two different transactions. One transfers the token to B and the other one to B prime. So this is first we want not to happen in the system. So without using any special hardware or any special devices, the only way how to guarantee such security property is having a certain independent reference system, subsystem in the system. And this reference system is called the Unicity service. Actually, it's implemented as a kind of a blockchain. It's layered, but we will not go into details here. In the security proofs that we are talking about today, this Unicity service, let's just say it's US, it's an ideal object that behaves according to certain rules and follows the rules, always follows the rules. So how to guarantee this no double spending property that I mentioned? Let's list the properties that we want to have. So first, no double spending. Okay, so what does this service do? So the parties should, before or after creating a new transaction, they should communicate somehow with the service, sending some queries, requests to the system, and what they get back are certificates or proofs, which we denote by pi. So to prevent such a situation, say A already created the transaction, asked for a certificate, then the service should somehow block of creating another certified transaction in the same state. State is a certain sequence of transactions that already happened with the token. So this service has to have such a property that it will not let A to certify another transaction in the same state. So this is how we can achieve no double spending. Okay, so now we might have another problem. We don't want any third parties, say C, to somehow communicate maliciously with the Unicity service and say if A has not yet made any further transactions with a token it owns, then maybe the C can somehow prevent A from creating any transaction, so blocking the token entirely. So what we also want in the system is no blocking. So only the owner of the current owner of the token can create further transactions and so to say lock the transaction from further transactions from the same state. Okay, so these two properties, security properties, are that we want to achieve. There is another problem now. So we don't want any third parties to know about the content and context of the token exchange. So the information about token transition or transaction should only be known by the participants of the transaction, the sender and the receiver. But if something is sent to these queries or requests are sent to the Unicity service, then it might be that some information leaks, some private information leaks from the service. So we also want to achieve privacy. Let's just say it's privacy, yeah? Okay. Any questions so far? Questions from the audience are very welcome. If no questions, then let's see what we want to achieve. What security proofs should achieve? So first, let's observe how this system is built. It uses some cryptography, and you can probably list the cryptographic functions or types of cryptographic functions the Unicity system uses. Of course, you know, I mentioned that we have to sign the token, so we definitely need digital signature schemes. Okay, what else do we need? We use maybe some hashing, yeah? So we need a hash function. It turns out that we also need so-called commitment schemes, but we will not go into details in this lecture. So basically these three things are what we need. So what we want to achieve, we want to prove that this system is secure against those kind of attacks, double spending, blocking, and privacy leaks.
Sorry,
yes, please.
What exactly do you mean by privacy?
Privacy, yes, good question. So privacy here means that based on the information that is stored in the Unicity service, or that the Unicity service sees the queries from, it should not be able to identify the sequence of tokens and which public key at which time owns the token. So this should not be able to, for the US Unicity service to deduce. So it only sees some transactions which seemingly have no associations whatsoever.
In fact, US and anyone who is kind of spoofing the traffic between US and the clients should not be able to identify at all what this traffic is all about. It's just a bunch of hashes and signatures. And yes. I don't know if it's a minting token event, if it's a transaction event, or if it's totally different kind of business application with their own model that has nothing to do with Unicity token transactions.
Yes, exactly. It might be just spam which is sent somehow to the system. But, yes. So this is privacy. Of course, privacy is a very wide notion, but that was a good question. So this is privacy we want to achieve. Okay.
The question about the
yes, please.
primitives. So how can we achieve privacy without using zero knowledge?
By this definition, we only need so-called perfectly hiding commitment schemes. There is no need for zero knowledge. Zero knowledge of the Unicity service is only guaranteed by certain properties of the commitment schemes, like perfect hiding. Okay?
So it's like more efficient and cheaper?
Yes, for those purposes, as we listed them, yes. We might need zero knowledge when we implement Unicity service, but not in this setting that we carry out the security proofs. Okay, so what do we assume from the components? We assume that we will use secure components. Well, secure components have been used. And you probably know that for a signature scheme being secure is something different than for the hash function being secure, and for the commitment scheme being secure. And so let's talk about security in general first. So we have a certain cryptographic function, we call it a primitive. And the security involves an attacker. Attacker is typically an algorithm. These are also algorithms. And we have attack scenario. It's just a sequence of operations that involve some mathematical operations, and at some point, let's say in point M, there is a condition, the success condition. So we have an adversary A here that somehow takes part in this computational sequence. And there is a logical conditions. A may produce some data here, and the success condition is usually some kind of relation between the data that has been produced. Okay. And so every signature scheme has a different attack scenario. Hash function has a different attack scenario. Commitment scheme has a different attack scenario. Okay. So what does it mean of being secure relative to certain attack scenario? We know what the attack is, and now we want to quantify the security of the primitives, and that's why we need security profile. So S is a security profile. Security profile is a function that, given certain success probability, so this scenario, the success condition, is often fulfilled not with probability 1, but it might be fulfilled with smaller probability, say epsilon. So epsilon is the success probability.
You just can say that it's practically possible. It should be epsilon should be small enough.
Yeah, it just says that we can vary those adversaries. We can choose smarter and smarter and maybe more complex algorithms to achieve larger epsilons. So this is what the security profile says.
So it should be as close to 1 as possible.
Yeah, so from the attacker's point of view, yes. We don't want this, but yeah. So the security profile is a function that, given the desired success of the attack, it gives you the minimum running time, or the running time that needs to be, running time is a number. So this is time, and this is success. Success is in between 0 and 1. So this function says that, say we have this function S, it says that to achieve success epsilon, every attacker must have running time at least t, which is S of epsilon. So S of epsilon tells what is the minimum running time for any adversary. We can choose any algorithm that attacks the system. And this security profile says, if we say want to achieve probability 1/2, we just execute this function, and it says how many steps we have to make as an attacker. So attacking, what is the graph of the profile? It's like we have epsilon axis here, say we have from 0 to 1, and we have t-axis here. So it's like, say this is some big number, like 2 to the 1 to 8, and this is 0, and we start from 0, and this somehow grows, and say if we want to achieve certain attack outcome, to reach 1 we need some astronomical number of steps. So this is the attack profile, the security profile. Okay, any questions so far?
So what is our goal as designers of the protocol?
From the security point of view, we want to use, but we have a goal, yes. We have a goal that the whole system is secure with a security profile. So say we need certain security profile S for non-blocking. We need a security profile S with privacy, we'll say some other S, and for double spending. So we want to achieve this S. And we now look how secure, what kind of S's should have our signature scheme, the hash function, and the commitment.
Can you show on the plot, please, what kind of shape of the plot we're aiming for? So to consider it practical security.
Practical security, say we want to have 2 to the power of 1 to 8 security. Then this, we want to achieve this kind of graph that ends here. Yeah?
Okay.
Somehow. Okay. So, what is a security proof? Let me say that as well. A security proof goes like this. Say we have to prove one of those 3 properties of the Unicity service. So we assume that A breaks the Unicity service with probability epsilon and with running time t. Yeah. Now we construct adversaries for the building blocks. So we construct, say signature scheme is F1. Let's denote F1. This is F2, and this is F3. So we want to construct A prime 1 or just A1 that breaks F1, and we want to construct A2 that breaks F2, and A3 that breaks F3. Yeah? Okay. And so we analyze. So first, these constructions, how these constructions are looking. So they are programs. A1 is a program that uses adversary A as a subroutine, or mostly as a black box function. And we have a proof that, say, if A is successful here, say with probability epsilon, then A1 has success epsilon 1, A3 has epsilon 3. And we proved the relation that epsilon is smaller or equal than epsilon 1 plus epsilon 2 plus epsilon 3. And this, what does it follow? So, what does it imply? So, now we assume something about those primitives. So, we can assume that all the primitives have the same security profile. It's for simplicity, say it's S. So these primitives, all those primitives are S secure. They have S as a security profile. These constructed adversaries may have larger running time than A. Usually they use A as a subpart or subroutine. They call A, it takes time T as we assumed, but they also do something else. They execute some other codes, etc. So they have some overhead, computational overhead. And we can assume that all those constructions have overhead. Say this is a function tau of T. It's usually larger than T. So it's a function that the running times of all those adversaries satisfy. So and from this we can imply that Unicity service is how secure. It has a security profile S prime, and S prime omega is defined by tau, the inverse function of tau, applied to the security profile of epsilon. In our case, we have 3 primitives over 3. Okay, so this is, and this is, the epsilon over 3. So this shows what is the security of the Unicity service, assuming that we have that secure parts. Okay. So, for example, for the say for non-blocking, we can write this formula for non-blocking. So, what is the non-blocking security profile? It turns out that if all the primitives are S secure, have security profile S, it turns out that the formula is S epsilon over 2 divided by 1 plus T verification. So this is signature verification time. This is signature creation time minus some constant, which is key generation time divided by the same thing. 1 plus T verification plus T signing. So this is just an example about what our security proofs say. So we have security proofs for all those three properties, and we have such kind of formulae that tells how much security we achieve, depending on what security we have in the primitives. So if you want to learn the details, please check our paper. We have detailed formulae in the paper. Any questions?
So what are conclusions of the current research?
Conclusions is that indeed, if we use reasonably secure primitives, hash functions, signature schemes, and commitment schemes, then we achieve those three security properties.
So basically, Unicity is proved theoretically to be secure.
Yes, but theoretically is also practical. I mean, if something is theoretically impossible, it's also practically impossible.
Formally,
Yes.
practically secure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is just a one layer, this is an execution layer.
Exactly. So more details may, so more detailed proofs may be needed if we replace this ideal object by actual blockchain implementation, but these are subject of probably our next papers.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening me today.